Hey everybody, Eric Schweitzer from The Gamer, and I'm here at BlizzCon with two key members of the Diablo team, Joe and Tiffany. How are you guys doing this morning?
I'm doing great. Yeah, it was really amazing energy from the opening ceremony.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. It's super fun to be back at BlizzCon. It's really, again, see all the fans and like get to hear their reactions to the announcements and things. It's been a blast.
Yeah, we have a lot of really cool things to talk about with Diablo, but first of all, as you mentioned, this is our first in-person BlizzCon in many years. How's it feel being back here?
It's really incredible. We've been working on things obviously throughout the past 4 years. So finally to be able to be in person, share that with the community, feel their reactions, be able to talk about things that we've been working on. It's just really exciting.
Yeah, it's honestly one of my favorite times of the year is when we were able to actually have BlizzCon and be able to show up and see everybody. To not have that for a few years, it was too bad, particularly like as we're getting closer and closer to launch of Diablo 4 and not be able to have that in-person moment with people. It's so much fun to be back and again be able to talk to people and getting stopped and like shaking hands and things. It's been a lot of fun.
Cool. So we just had our opening ceremony and we went through so many things for Diablo. I guess let's start with Season 2, which just began a couple weeks ago. Can you talk about some of the new things, some of the changes in Season 2?
Sure. The Season of Blood is, as you said, Season 2 for Diablo 4. We spent a lot of time making sure that we're getting all of the feedback from players that they began playing through the launch period of the game and through parts of Season 1. We wanted to ensure that we were like responding to the sorts of things they had concerns about.
Yeah.
So you made changes to things like the mount, for example. We really sped up the feeling of the mount. We reduced the cooldowns for a lot of the abilities on when you're using mounts, like get on a mount's a lot faster, it's easier to get off a mount. It's just a lot faster to ride your mount in general. We made adjustments to the way that you progress through the experience in that like we reduced the amount of experience required to reach level 100, when you're playing through the game. And the reason, and many other changes as well, but the reason for a lot of these changes came down to players would come into a game like Diablo 4 and they would have goals for themselves, things they wanted to accomplish during the time they had a chance to play. And with some of the old decisions that we had in place, some of the tuning we had for experience and things like that, it became evident that players were hitting walls as they were progressing through the game, and they were just kind of struggling through these more difficult portions of the game experience, where things just get slowed down a lot. And we want to make sure that if a player wants to start playing in a season and they want to reach level 100, or if they want to go and try to find an uber unique item, we want to make it possible for them to like really meet those goals, really be able to accomplish those things. And that's what really led to a lot of the changes that we have in Season 2, like the addition of the new bosses that we added, where players can go to try to farm specific uber unique items, or unique items in particular, as they're progressing through, and then earn the materials they need to go fight Duriel, where you can go and farm the actual uber unique items, things like your Harlequin crest, Doombringer, things like that. So we think it's been really gratifying, but it really just shows the kind of how we want to have Diablo progress with the course of time, how we want to continue to have it grow and get better as we continue to respond to the way the players are playing it, what they seem to like, and what they're having like difficulties and issues with. Yeah.
Diablo 4 has had such an incredible launch, but I think one of the most impressive things about it is just how much it's changed in these first 5 months, and the way that your team's been able to react to player feedback and make updates so quickly. Can you speak a little bit to that?
So as I said before, we have been. It takes time to develop content for a game as large and exciting as Diablo 4. And when we launched the game, we were also working on Season 1 content before Diablo 4 actually released. So we weren't able to incorporate a lot of learnings from that launch period of Diablo 4 into Season 1's initial release. And we learned a lot during Season 1, the way players played that game then as well. So having this opportunity in Season 2, we were able to ensure that, like, because we got some of that feedback while we still had a lot of time left to finish development for the seasonal content, we were able to incorporate those changes into our actual plans then as we were building it, as opposed to needing to sort of guess at what players might sort of be looking for at certain parts of the game experience. So beyond that, it is as we continue to play the game more and more ourselves and continue to get on more and more of this feedback from all the players and various forums and channels and videos and articles, then it really helps us kind of like narrow down the parts that are really fun and the areas we can make improvements. So that really is what it comes down to.
Cool. Let's talk about some of the stuff that's coming up soon. What can you tell us about the Abattoir of Xur? Did I say that right? Zir.
Yes.
That's right. Zir.
I'll get it.
No, it's all good. So yeah, but you hit Abattoir, which is actually the tough one, right? so yeah, Abattoir of Zir is a new pinnacle level dungeon content piece available in Diablo 4. Once you've like killed Duriel, once you have like finished a tier 100 Nightmare dungeon, once you've done all the things you want to do in the season, you get a really powerful character. That's really when you want to go into the Abattoir of Zir. This is new 25 tier dungeon experience players can go into. It starts off harder than a tier 100 Nightmare Dungeon, and then it escalates, gets harder and harder as you go deeper and deeper into it. One of the things that makes this content a little bit different from the other things we have in the game right now is that in the Abattoir of Zir, you're really racing the clock as you play. As you're going through, you're slaughtering enemies. You're trying to get to that point where you've killed enough that you can summon forth the boss and clear that through and get to the next level. When you finish the first level of the Abattoir of Zir, you're also going to earn a new glyph type that's going to be new for Diablo 4. And it's going to be a new unique glyph that's called the Tears of Blood. And this 200 tier glyph that you earn as part of this experience can be leveled up to continue to increase your player's power or your character's power in a really, really potent multiplicative way as you continue to progress. And you're going to need to go you need to level that thing up enough to help you push deeper and deeper into the Abattoir of Zir, unlock those really later titles, and just continue to push your build further and further and further. One of the things we've heard from players a lot as part of Season 2 is that they're looking for more challenges. They've got really powerful builds, they feel like they're blasting, and they're having a great time with the combat and the flow of progression in the game. But now they want more places to go to really push that build and really stress things and challenge themselves, right? That's what the Abattoir of Zir is meant to sort of achieve for us. And as you've sort of seen with the sorts of things we did as part of Season 2, this is just an opportunity for us to begin getting more feedback and getting ideas how do players like this kind of content? What are the sorts of things we want to do in the future? Because the Abattoir of Zir is a 6-week special event, and we'll be going away at the end of the season. So, this is going to be informing the sorts of things players might be looking for with this kind of really challenging content later in the game.
Cool. That's really exciting. And another seasonal event, the first seasonal event is coming up for the holidays. Can you talk about what a winter event looks like in Diablo?
Midwinter Blight is definitely a Diablo-fied winter event. It's I think you saw some images in the opening ceremony. It's pretty gruesome. But it'll take place in the Fractured Peaks, but starting in Kiovishad, the Hibernal Square will be transformed. So you'll see our version of a Christmas tree there. And you'll be able to talk to a bard. What is his name again? Gillian the bard. And he'll kick you off on a quest to kind of explore what horrors are happening in the Fractured Peaks. There are new denizens that are, trying to kick off their own demonic celebrations, and it's your job as a hero sanctuary to go disrupt those. What's really cool is the opportunity to actually earn some unique cosmetic awards. I think it's just it's a really cool opportunity to really lean into the themes, the dark, gory themes of Diablo, and be able to have some things that you can take out of the holiday event and keep on your character for the rest of the year. And then, of course, there's the Red Cloaked Horror, so it's an absolutely brand new encounter that you will be able to fight. And so I think it'll be really fun experience for our players. And another way to, I think, bring Sanctuary alive.
I'm terrified to find out what you're going to do to Santa Claus. The last thing I wanted to touch on, of course, was the announcement of the first expansion, the Vessel of Hatred. What can you tell us about that?
Vessel of Hatred is really exciting. Obviously, as you said, it's our first expansion for Diablo 4. And what we have to talk about today is obviously the announcement of a new region, and it's Nahantu. So it's an opportunity to jump back into one of those nostalgic places from Diablo 2. You'll hear a little bit more about it in the panel or the campfire chat tomorrow, but we get to return to some of those nostalgic places because obviously in Diablo 2 and Act 3, the player is encountering Mephisto. Mm-hmm. He is the prime evil that we are following in this new expansion. He's been, at the end of the main campaign, Neyrel was leaving the scene with the Soulstone that has Mephisto trapped inside. So we'll be picking up off that story, entering the region of Nahantu. And as you saw in the little teaser that we had, he is following her in that stone, trying to get out of it. And so you'll be able to figure out what's going to happen with both of them. Neyrel is a really, really cool character because she is a young child who is, challenging the direct power of a prime evil. It's something that the Haradrim have always failed at. And so we'll be able to see exactly how that plays out. And like I said, very, very cool. Like for me, I've been a Diablo player for a very long time. To be able to visit some of those places like Travancore, the ziggurat that Mephisto was originally imprisoned under, all that kind of stuff is really exciting.
So cool. Very excited to play it. And thank you both so much. Really exciting things ahead for Diablo 4. Stay tuned to The Gamer for more BlizzCon.